Right now, this caterpillar is dissolving completely. In a few days, something else climbs out. I found 18 of them across Michigan, and they're all about to go through the same journey. Most caterpillars never make it this far. One fungal infection and the whole batch is dead overnight. In the wild, most don't survive long enough to find out what they become. So I brought mine home. 18 lives, one job. Keep them alive through molting, through the chrysalis, through everything trying to kill them, long enough to see this. We have to overcome multiple challenges to see these guys become butterflies. And it all starts with finding them. I thought that finding caterpillars would be the easiest part of this challenge. I was totally wrong. After hours of searching, I hadn't found a single one, and I was ready to call it quits. Then I learned that some caterpillars spend almost their entire lives hiding in oak trees. Coincidentally, I was sitting underneath one. So I started searching every leaf, and finally spotted my first caterpillar. This tiny leaf roller moth has one of the strangest survival tricks I've ever seen, but I'll show you that later. Now that I knew what to look for, the hunt started picking up. I took off down a trail and came across a deer who must have been my good luck charm, because within minutes I came across 4 insane looking caterpillars. What is that? But I was still missing the species I wanted most. So I pushed into tick-infested grass and hit the jackpot. 7 monarch caterpillars. Some were nearly full grown, while the tiniest one was no bigger than a grain of rice. So naturally, I named him Rice. My final stop was a patch of dill where I found 6 incredibly tiny black swallowtail caterpillars. The hunt had gone from complete failure to 18 caterpillars across 5 different species. Now came the hard part. I got everyone set up in their new enclosures where I could keep a close eye on them, and almost immediately they started devouring everything in sight. The monarchs and swallowtails were growing so fast I could barely keep up with replacing their food. I even read that some caterpillars can eat up to 27,000 times their own body weight, which suddenly didn't seem so unbelievable. Meanwhile, Rice had a much simpler routine: eat, sleep, poop, repeat. But not everything was going according to plan. The tent moth caterpillars barely moved at all, and the morning cloaks seemed even worse. After some research, I found out that they can fall victim to parasitic wasps that secretly lay eggs inside them, slowly killing them from the inside out. Despite that, both caterpillars still tried to pupate, but unfortunately neither of them survived. So I gave them a proper burial, and at that point I started wondering if I'd lose the rest of them too. Then one by one, the remaining caterpillars stopped eating, and they were finally getting ready to transform. First up was the leaf roller moth. Instead of building a cocoon from scratch, it transformed the leaf itself into a fortress. Tiny strands of silk pulled the edges together a little at a time until the whole leaf slowly curled over, sealing it shut. Hidden safely inside, it could keep eating, growing, and eventually begin its transformation without ever being exposed. The tent caterpillars had a completely different strategy. Rather than hiding inside a leaf, they spun dense white cocoons around themselves, completely disappearing beneath layers of silk. But before completely sealing themselves inside, they coated the cocoon in a fine powder made from tiny hairs they carried on their bodies. That fuzzy coating helps discourage predators while they're completely defenseless. Then came the transformation I'd been waiting for. One by one, the black swallowtails climbed to the top of their sticks and attached themselves using a tiny silk pad. Then they spun what almost looks like a seatbelt around their bodies, a surprisingly strong strand of silk that keeps them from falling during one of the most vulnerable moments of their lives. Hours passed, and then it finally started. The caterpillar began slowly wriggling out of its own skin. For a few minutes, it looked almost impossible that it would work. Hanging upside down, twisting and stretching, it eventually revealed something that looked more alien than insect. A chrysalis. Within a single day, every one of the swallowtails had transformed, almost as if they'd planned it somehow. But the monarchs, including Rice, saved the most incredible transformation for last. They all climbed to the top of the enclosure and hung motionless in a perfect J shape for nearly 24 hours. It looked like nothing was happening, but inside everything had already begun changing. When the time finally came, each monarch slowly shed its striped caterpillar skin to reveal a smooth green chrysalis underneath. Over the next several days, something almost unbelievable would happen. Nearly every caterpillar organ would break down into a nutrient-rich soup, while tiny groups of cells that had been hiding inside since the caterpillar hatched would build an entirely new animal. Eyes, wings, legs, antennae, even a completely different digestive system designed for drinking nectar instead of chewing leaves. Pretty soon, all 7 monarchs had finished transforming. So I carefully moved every chrysalis into a larger, clear bin. Butterflies can't fly the moment they hatch, so they have to hang upside down and pump fluid into their veins of their crumpled wings so they can slowly expand them to full size before they harden. and without enough room to hang freely, their wings can become permanently deformed. Because of this one's yellow string, my sister ended up naming it Popcorn, but we still have plenty left that need names, so leave your best butterfly names in the comments below. Now all we could do was wait, because the most dangerous part of their entire lives was still ahead, emerging. After about 10 days, the swallowtail's chrysalis started to darken up, and then, the first one emerged. Its wings expanded slowly over the course of an hour or so, and not long after, another one emerged as well. Guys, the second one just hatched. Look how cool the underside of its wings are. Oh, and the top, wow. Alright, I just realized this swallowtail is yellow with a little bit of blue, and this one is opposite. So they must be boy and girl, and look at the underside of their wings. They have orange, blue, yellow, white. These things are awesome. Up, we got this big blue female. Come here. Gotta get her over to the net. I turned this whole other bedroom into a butterfly sanctuary, basically. Let's get her in here nice and carefully. Now we have 2 females and 2 males. Pretty awesome. Now it was time for the moment I've been most excited for. All of the monarch chrysalises started to become see-through, and you could see the pattern of their wings through them. Less than a day later, they started breaking out one after another like clockwork. Their abdomens were full of fluid that they slowly pumped into their wings to expand them. This is probably the most fragile part of their entire lives. Alright guys, the monarch's wings are moving. I gotta get him out of here before he disturbs the other ones. Look how crazy that is. Safe and sound. Throughout the day, my eyes were glued on the bin because more continued hatching. Okay. What are you doing? I think he wants to take a test flight. Or he just likes me. Alright, what do you think you're doing? I wasn't able to capture the tent moths breaking out of their cocoons, but they were ready to explore right away. Alright guys, I think our other tent moth hatched because this guy is freaking out. I'm gonna get him outside, he seems stressed. Oh yeah, he's ready now. There he goes. Bye, buddy. Alright guys, it's time to let our other tent moth go. He is more than ready. His wings are definitely dry. We're gonna get him out right away. Alright, here goes nothing. Go be free. Be free. There he goes. Bye, buddy. Way into the sky. Next up were the swallowtails. Alright, they're ready to go. I'm gonna grab this one first. Oh, maybe not. There goes one. There he goes. And I tried to get him with my hand, but they only like the sock. Dang, which one's so windy? Be free. Goes the last one. Alright guys, as you can probably tell, the monarchs are eager to get out of their net and to go explore the world. These guys will migrate to Mexico and California and all over the world if they make it past the first few days in the wild. They were raised in captivity and now they're ready to go back into the wild. Here he goes. Bye, buddy. Getting him a little orange juice before he heads out. Smart call. There he goes. There he goes. Up into a tree. All right, guys, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Our last female just emerged, and we're gonna send her free right now. There she goes. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.